I hate seeing weakness in people. I love doing lives for you after a consultation because I've got all this builds up energy and passion and frustration. And probably it's a really good time for me to come and talk to you about something with that kind of passion. I just had a consultation with one of my clients. And I'll tell you the story in a second, but if you don't see a problem in what I'm just about to tell you, then listen up, because you need to realize that this is a problem. Have you been watching Michael Jordan's Last Dance? If you haven't watched it, because it's really, really motivating. What he loved to do is empower all his teammates to be just as good as he is, especially that he saw potential in them. He didn't want anyone to be average, okay? He wanted to push everybody to his level, not so he can win, but he didn't like seeing weaknesses. Exactly like me, and this is what I do because I hate seeing weakness in people. I hate seeing people have potential to be what they want, but they having something stop them. What I do for a living is I empower people and give them the confidence to be able to be the best version of themselves. And it's not about diets. Take this message to whatever way you want to look at it. If it's diet, if it's work, if it's business, the same thing. But I look at weaknesses and it frustrates me. And this is a story. So I just got off a consultation with one of my clients, and this is her last week with me. This is her 12th week. And I said to her, so how is your body looking? She said to me, it's the same. And I found that really hard to believe. So I said to her, okay, are you sure it's the same? She said to me, yes. She said to me, I just don't feel as bloated anymore. And underneath where my ribs are here, I can start to see it. And I thought to myself, you gotta be kidding me, right? Now, do you see a problem with what I said? Because if you don't see this as being a problem, keep watching. I always record my calls with my clients, and what I do is after the 12 weeks, now they've got 12 weeks of recorded calls between them and I'll send that to them for them to listen over and over again. So thank God that we actually recorded, and I advise her to listen to that call again. So I said to her, you've lost weight, you're skinnier because you're no longer bloated, and you can see your ribs, and what you've done now is attributed success to other words because you don't want to admit that you're succeeding, because something scares you. Something is stopping you from saying, yes, I'm getting skinnier, because the idea of being overweight for so long, it is so hard to comprehend that you are no longer that person. You've lived in this overweight state of mind, whether it's your body and your mind, for so long that you can't fathom the fact that you're actually getting somewhere. The human brain is so conditioned to failure to the point that you can't see it anymore. You have to start being positive. If you've watched Michael Jordan's Netflix series, this guy was a monster. He actually created things in his mind to get more motivated. If he had a game, he had to make a point in his brain to annoy him, to frustrate him, so he can go out there and be an animal and not caught. There was one time where the opposition coach just ignored him and didn't say hello to him. He got so frustrated, he made this massive story in his head that this guy ignored him. How dare he? And all of a sudden, he made a point in his brain that I'm not going to just beat these people, I'm going to embarrass them just for what this coach did to me. This is a completely different attitude to what my client had before. She's still stuck in the past because her brain's telling her, I am never going to be this person. You have to start being positive. You have to start to fill your brain with positive things. Make it up like Michael Jordan. Make something up that's going to give you this fire in your belly and motivation to continue to do what you're doing. Get rid of your old self, which is destroying you. You have to realize that your brain is going to continually convince you of what it's conditioned to in the past. You've got to stop that by taking that junk out of your brain and start talking positive, by making things up in your mind. If you have to lie to yourself, lie to yourself. If you have to start thinking, oh my God, I'm getting skinnier, do it. Because the reality is, after 12 weeks, my client was skinnier. But instead of saying I'm skinnier, she used the word bloating. Now, you cannot be bloated on keto because you get rid of bloating within the first week because you drop all the water. So anything that happens after the first week of keto, it's purely fat loss, but she could not say that because her mind is conditioned in the past to fail. Once you lose the water, everything happens from week 1 to week 12 now. She lost the weight. Now, how do I prove that? Because now she can see her ribs. For God's sake, if you can see your ribs, it means there's nothing else happening except that you're getting skinnier. Right? And my response is, do you have a dog? She said, yes. Luckily for me, she does have a dog. I said, how do you look at your dog's health if he's unnourished or he's eating too little? The response is you look at the dog's ribs. If you can see dog's ribs, it means that the dog's skinny. When I take pictures of myself or look at me or you look at models or bodybuilders, the first thing you do is you notice if they got ribs or they don't. Because if you can see ribs, it means you're looking good. So this lady is actually starting to look good because she can see her ribs. Yet she could not say the words, I am losing weight. Because she's conditioned to be negative. Her brain, she has no choice. Her brain's controlling her. The solution to this is that you need to start to say positive things to yourself. It is possible to move on. Just make a point to motivate yourself like what Michael Jordan did. Find a husband, a brother or a sister or a friend that told you you can't, and make that your motivation. Start talking positively to yourself, because if you don't change your brain and how it works and how it's conditioned, it doesn't matter how good you look, you will never see it. And that is a real pity. Looking forward to speaking to you again. I will be doing lives from now on Wednesdays. It'll be pretty much after a consultation, so you can get first-hand experience from what my clients go through. Thank you everybody that's been watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye for now.